OMG. Go ahead and put this on here. I know this is like super random and abrupt. I need to hear some wins. That's what I need. And I'm already apologizing to those who are watching the replay because I don't want to start until I have some people on this line. So if you're joining, go ahead and drop who you are, where you're located. If you're still in the GovCon fight, I just wanted to share pretty much what I've been up to. So I want you all to share what you've been having going on, because I need to share what I have going on, because I feel like I haven't talked to you all in so long. It's been forever. I don't even know how long it's been since I've done my last live, let alone my last live by myself, because it's been a while for that. So as you're coming in, please share who you is and where you're at, please. I know it's probably like rush hour and everybody at work and all that kind of stuff, but I still... Hey, Linda. Still in the fight. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Share some things that you've been doing recently. Where you're located and what you've been doing. What have you changed? Have you pivoted? Have you adjusted? What's different? Linda says she's still in the fight. I'm still in the fight too. Now, you know, I've been talking to y'all about local contracting for the longest, but nobody listens to me. Nobody listens to me. I need to hear some wins. I need to hear some wins, and I need to know what y'all doing. What y'all are doing different. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get popping. Okay. So a lot has changed. Not changed. No, let me not say that. It hasn't been a lot, but there has been some things that have been adjusted since I have really done any videos. So, you know, sometimes you got to realize, you know, what side your bread is buttered on. And I realized I was dedicating a lot of time to Sheenapreneur and, you know, course and students and all that stuff is amazing. I have been very, very blessed to have the course and have everything where I'm able to teach people. I've been doing a lot of teaching in person. So that's one of the things that has also taken me out of the loop a little bit, is teaching in person with Boots to Business. I teach at EBV, which is the Entrepreneurship Boot Camp for Veterans. I do that twice a year. Sometimes I do the reunion, so that's like 3 times a year. And SBA, the Small Business Administration, and a host of others, right? So I actually have an event coming up next week. So it's really, it can be a little taxing. So, you know, it's hard to get on here sometimes and do videos after I've been talking all day and mentoring, if you will, all day. But also I had to make sure that I'm dedicating the time that I need to my business, to my bread and butter, Foresight Industries, you know. So as you're coming in, please let me know who you is, where you're located. Thank you, Linda. Linda, what industry are you in? Let me know. Let me know what industry you're in. So really, I've been dedicating a lot of time to that, because a lot of that stuff kind of wavers when you're a business owner. And I have a staff, I have an executive staff, I have labor employees, I have all that great stuff. And a lot of people will kind of ping pong that back to me and say, well, Sheena, you got a whole team. Got it. Yes, I have an amazing team. I am super blessed. And everybody that has been with me, I've only had a couple of people on my executive team that have actually either quit or been fired over the years. And mostly everyone has been with me for at least 3 years, I think, is the newest hire I have. I think she might have been with me for 2 or 3 years. but everyone else is like 4 years, 5 years. So I'm very, very blessed. But nonetheless, I have to make sure that since this is my business, I have to make sure that I can keep the lights on. And so, even having a staff and everything, that doesn't guarantee that everything is going to run the way it needs to. Now, with that being said, what do I need to do to make sure that things can run and continue to fast forward while I am doing other ventures, right? Because the main goal is to get out of working directly in the business. And that's kind of hard for a lot of people. They don't have trust. I have trust. I think I had too much trust. And so, I kind of got out of the weeds, but it's not time for me to get out of the weeds yet. Everybody's business has their own what's the word I'm looking for? It has their own path. And so every business is not going to run exactly the same. Some people can jump off the porch and have their business run fully functional without any issues, and someone could take over rather easily. But my business is not that. And I wanted to make sure, because everything is contingent upon our contracts, right? So really what I just recently won 2 contracts. So boop, 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 boop. Very, very excited about that. I won one of my dream contracts. And I'm probably going to still do a separate video about this, but it's a plant contract. So I'm a plant mama. I know there ain't no plants in here because this room kind of stays dark for the most part, but I have over 120 plants, like literally in my house. So not even outside, they like indoor plants. And so I wanted to win a plant contract. I literally manifested this contract because I would, every time I did a presentation, I would always tell people like, I need to win a plant contract. That has been my thing. That's really what I have been trying to win. And I finally got one. Make sure you hit like on this video for those who are watching, please, please, please. So also, I won a debris removal. So I've talked about litter pickup and debris removal being one of my faves. And so this one is a little bit different because it's emergency debris removal for a school system. And it's in Georgia. So that's amazing. And, it was a really weird way of how this contract kind of came about. We actually won it a while back, but then we never executed on it. That's something y'all got to be careful of too, because one of the things is people may say, I won this big contract, whatever, but they never execute on it. And so you got to be careful when people are telling you they win a contract. Are they actually executing on this contract? That's one of the biggest things. Thank you, Linda. She said, wow, amazing. You love plants too? Okay. Yes. Cheers to the plant people. Because a lot of people, they have a brown thumb. They don't even have a green thumb. But nonetheless, I was able to get that plant contract and also the debris removal, which is something that I really, really enjoyed. So I'm really, really happy about that because, it lets me know that we're still in the fight. That Foresight Industries is still in the fight and we can still win contracts. And that's still something that I really, really, I want to continue to do. I want to continue to provide jobs. I want to continue to put money in people's pocket. That's kind of why I started doing what I do is, being able to hire subcontractors, hire people who can't typically, get a job. There's not a whole lot of requirements that I have. As long as you do what you say you can do, that's my main requirements. So hello, Tarika. Let me know. Okay, you're from Columbia, South Carolina, in the building. Tell me, are you still in the GovCon fight? A lot of people jump ship. I try to tell you about local. And a lot of people jumping ship. They're afraid. A lot of people went back to work, so they couldn't do their side business, whatever the case may be. Or maybe they jumped out of the contracting space. Jumped out of the workspace, and now they want to be government contractors. So, I've seen a mixture of both. That's actually something that myself and my business partner, Bridget, we're talking about, to helping people translate their skills from their job over to government contracting, because you can be a solopreneur, you can do any of this stuff. So that's something to also keep in mind. And I might talk about it a little bit in another video. So Linda says she is teaming at the moment, facilities management. Who are you teaming with? Would you say you were in Wisconsin? Lord, I went to Wisconsin in the winter. Not for me. It would not recommend. Okay. So, teaming is good. Teaming is cool. You can always still try to be a prime or a sub, just as long as you can find someone to fulfill and you can at least sort of kind of speak the language. So make sure that you are, not selling yourself short when it comes to that. And Tarika said, yes, ma'am, still grinding. Yeah. So what's your industry, Tarika? Let us know. Let us know. But as I was saying, my new contracts, and then all the ones that we're going after, I'm going after construction. Now, if you've watched me for a while, you know that I say try to stay in similar industries, right? Don't just go rogue and do whatever. But most of the stuff that I'm going after, or pretty much 99% of what I'm going after, is within my industry, is within facilities. So I know a lot of people kind of started facilities because of my teachings, which is cool. Just make sure it works for you. Some people are like, nah, this ain't for me. Totally understand that too. Just do what you can do. It's up to you. You're the business owner. It's your, it's your thing. It's your baby. It's your stuff, right? Pause real quick. So those who are on, did you guys get an alert for me being on? Because I'm finding that I don't know if I'm shadow banned. I got a little bit of funny stuff going on my YouTube channel as of recently. So just wondering if y'all got an alert or some kind of bell, if you turned on the notification bell, whatever. So yeah. So what's her name? Linda said it's cold as heck. Yes, it's very cold in Wisconsin. And I'm from up north, right? I'm from up north. So I understand cold, but that Wisconsin cold, I think it just bit a little bit different. It was kind of like that Chicago cold. So lady, she said no, she didn't get an alert. So nobody else got an alert. That's why I feel like that's what the issue is sometimes. Okay, so Linda got an alert. Thank you. And Tarika said still relatively new admin. When you say still relatively new admin, what do you mean? Feel free to ask any questions throughout this talk, because I just want to make sure that I am still delivering value to you guys. I know I've been kind of gone, but I want to make sure I'm still delivering, because I'm still out here. I'm still doing it. Okay, alert that you are live. You did get it. Okay, cool. Yes, I guess sometimes it comes through, sometimes it doesn't. So I just randomly popped in today because I was going to do a bunch of videos, which I still might do, but I was like, this is the easiest way to get out the information I'm trying to get out, which is, the winning of the 2 contracts. Both of the contracts are in Georgia. Amen. That's where I'm at. One of them is actually like Metro Atlanta. So that's even like more better. And these are both local contracts. So are you guys still going after only federal? I'm going after federal too. I got like 3 in the pipeline right now, literally going out this week, literally. So I don't discriminate. And I'm still going after corporate after winning my, did y'all see my post for my award? Don't play with me. Don't play with me. I do this in real life. Okay. All right. Woman Veteran Business Enterprise of the Year 2025. Don't play with me. I do this in real life. Okay. These had to be verified. This ain't one of those where you just do, hey, let me give you all my information, and then they just give you something, or they just write about you. You know what I'm saying? I do this in real life. So always check your sources. I always say that. No one can bring up anything that I lied about on the interwebs. Period. I'm very, very transparent because I know y'all are investigators out here. Okay. So Tarika said she got the alert that I was live, and then still new to government contracting. So you trying to figure out what you want to do. You said admin. So what is admin to you? What you want to do? Like when you say admin, what does that mean? Because we got to be very clear about our language, right? Do you want to like be an administrator? You want to be administrator yourself? Like you want to work for a company as a solopreneur? Is that something that makes sense to you? Make sure you hit like on the way in, please. There's a few of y'all in here. Make sure them likes match up. But yeah, going back to what I was saying. So with all the different things that have transpired, a lot of people have taken a significant hit on the federal side. That is a fact. A lot of people have even taken a hit on the local side. And one thing people ask me, like, have you been affected? And I'm like, I think we were affected. We were basically affected. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a byproduct of the situation, because a lot of agencies were kind of holding their purse, like, ooh, I don't know if we're going to be affected, so let's not spend. And then all of a sudden the floodgates kind of open, and I feel like I'm probably getting more opportunities than I had before. And that's just for me. It's not going to always be like that for everyone, every industry, every location, or even how you doing what you do, might be the significant difference between what your failure and your success. So it's unfortunate for so many people. I used to be a federal employee. I know a lot of federal employees that lost their job, or they had to go back into work when they had their whole life planned around not being remote worker or whatever. So I totally get the pain and the suffering of the people that are being affected right now. So lady said, you may not want to hear this because I think you have a different experience, but with my experience, it just seems like companies or local governments do not want to deal with Black females. That's deep. Okay, let's unpack that. Now, you can't just say that without giving me some specific examples. Now, are you saying that someone specifically said to you, hey, we don't deal with your kind around here? I'm not trying to make it funny, but or people saying, how are you presenting? Like, how are you, what industry are you in? Like, what are you asking? Oh, you're in tech. Look, I was in IT for 20 years. Okay, you speaking my language. So what do you feel has really been the main reason that you feel that way? Before I give you my specific answer. And where are you located? I don't know if you said where you were located. Did you say where you were located? No, you didn't say where you were located. Because I'm in the South, right? I'm from the North, where I experienced virtually no racism, just everything was breezy, or at least it appeared to be breezy. And then I come to the South where it's brazen, and I'm like, oh my God. So with that, it's like, what are you experiencing that makes you feel like the government doesn't want to deal with Black females? Because I'm a Black female and I have multi-million dollars in contracts. So no, and that's nothing braggadocious. I'm just saying, like, where are we getting this from? Because we don't want to push the narrative to other Black women that you can't get a contract. That's a narrative. There's been a lot of narratives that are pushed. There are people saying no one's getting contracts right now. Right? In January, February, March, no one's getting contracts. Contract is dead. That's what people are telling me. I'm like, I don't, like, what do you mean? Like, I'm servicing contracts, I'm winning contracts, my students are winning contracts. What you're saying doesn't match up with what's actually happening. So let's see. And thank you, Linda, for the congratulations. Thank you. So lady says, meeting through Zoom, they see my resume and they're really excited, but when they see me in person, all of a sudden the excuses. Okay, so we need to further unpack that. Now, you also still didn't say where you're located. Now, that shouldn't make a huge difference. But it may make a huge difference. If you're in North Dakota and they don't see Black women in tech, it might be a little jarring for them, just like it would be jarring for another location that has a different diversity group. We can't ignore that the country still has a lot of bias, and that's every race is biased against another. It doesn't have to be Black or white. So I just want to make sure that we're saying the right thing. Located in Arizona, but reach out to several states and DC. And so what you're experiencing is people are giving you excuses on. So advice would be to keep going. So that's the broad statement. Advice to keep going. I have won contracts. I know a lot of Black women that win contracts. I can't say what you're doing wrong or what you're not doing right. You're saying resume. And so I didn't hear anything about a proposal. Are you talking about a job? Like, you want to work as a government employee? That I can't give you a whole lot of advice about. It's been a long time since I've been a government employee. So that's a whole other thing. I don't know anything about Arizona. I don't even know if I've ever been to Arizona. So I don't know how they do what they do. If you're talking about being a federal employee, then, oh, there go April. Speaking of Arizona, look, April be winning contracts too. Native American, that's my homie right there. Just keep going. And look, so we don't want to put in our minds we're not going to win because we're Black. We're not going to win because we're women. We cannot. Even if we feel like the odds are stacked against us, we still remove that negative narrative out of our brains, because what happens is words become things. Okay. And then you're going to end up saying, well, I might as well not even go after it because I'm Black. No, we don't think like that over here. Okay, so she creates apps, airline, and experience for RF engineering. Oh, AI. You still didn't answer if you're going for a job or a proposal. That's a whole separate language, whole separate thing, because all you mentioned was a resume. So you're saying they love your resume, and then when they try to meet you, it's different. Okay. Bidding no, I have been bidding and applied for roles. Okay, so you're going after contracts and you feel like you're being discriminated against. And that very well may be the case. We are in a discriminatory society, and that's just what it is. So you have to figure out, maybe I need to target a different area, target a different thing, something. Force your way in, lower your price, do something. And I'm not saying lower your price in order to get in and then you end up in a bad situation. Don't do that. I'm saying sometimes it could be your price. You're thinking it's because you're Black, but it's because your price. I mean, if they're not specifically saying that to you, you cannot assume that's what it is, but you can kind of think in the back of your head. I mean, I get discriminated against all the time. They see my nails and I've gotten some crazy comments. And I'm like, I don't care. If you don't want to work with me, cool. You're letting me know ahead of time before I start working with you. And then you abuse me and abuse my employees for this contract. But I'd rather you get rid of me in your mind and I get rid of you in my mind way ahead of time. Right? I bid for app creation. Okay. I've seen those contracts before. So you got to keep going. I mean, I don't know how Arizona worked, but you said you bid everywhere else. So have you ever asked for a debrief? I mean, are you submitting for a contract and then not winning, or you're not able to move forward? What's happening? We're gonna solve your whole life today, lady. Your whole life. We're gonna solve a lady's life today. Everyone that's popping in, please hit like on this video. And you're gonna have to I might mention a few times that your girl's winning out here, and I got a few federal in the vault. Make sure right now that you are priming yourself to bid on federal contracts. It's the end of the fiscal year. No matter what happened, there's still some money that needs to be spent with these organizations. Now, some organizations took a huge hit. HHS, huge hit. So they may not have a whole lot of money. But other organizations, they still have money and they need to spend it before October 1st. So you need to be calling, emailing, you need to be whatever, going to events before October 1st and letting these agencies know who you are. Okay? They have to spend this money. And on the local side, for those who don't know, so the federal side, the fiscal year is October 1, October 1st through September 30th. On the local side, pretty much every agency that I pretty much dealt with that's on the local side, that's state and everything else, operate from July 1st to June 30th. So they did the same thing with us for the local side. Had a whole bunch of money left over for May and June, and we did like 15 projects in 1 week because they were trying to spend up the money. So just keep that in mind, that right now is the time. You should have already been ready. You should have already been going. But right now is the time for you to try to get these agencies to spend up all these dollars. There's going to be there's a lot of huge contracts out right now. They're trying to put these things out for bid, or they may have already been out for bid for a month or so. And they want to get it awarded before October 1st. And then you start on October 1st. So who's ready for that? If you're ready, and put ready in the comments, because I don't think anybody's ready. I think everybody's bowing out of government contracting. I weathered the COVID storm. We weathered the potential recession storm. We weathered Trump and then Biden and then Trump 2.0, and we still here. And I am a Black woman business in the South. So I don't know. I don't know how much more stressful it could get for someone. Okay. And I'm in an all male industry, period. So I want people to understand that there's definitely a significant, there's going to be a significant adjustment, but you have to make the adjustment too. As a business owner, you're always going to have to make an adjustment, period. You're always going to have to, it doesn't matter. Don't ever be comfortable. I never got comfortable. I might have gotten, if there was a percentage of like 10 being the most comfortable where you let your people run the whole company, I probably was at a 2, where I was always at a 0. So I'm probably at a 2. And then I said, oh, no, that's too much, because I need to step back in and then make my demands with my people to make sure that they're asking for debriefs, making sure that we're not just arbitrarily bidding on contracts, making sure that we have all these parameters in place for hiring, all these different things over and over and over and over. SOPs, updating the SOPs. Ain't nobody getting away with nothing. Okay, nothing, because this is my ish. This is mine, my baby. I created this with $1 and a dream. So everybody gonna put some respect on this. And we've been in business for 8 years, 8 years strong. That's not easy. They say the first 5 years is stressful. Okay, we had 8. Okay, soapbox. Can't wait for the next 2 months. Yes, because we know that money is here. Not even just the money is coming. The money is here. That's the language we have to have. Okay, lady, what we talking about? So for the latest bid, they keep pushing out the date. Previously, I was bidding for leasing contracts. So are you saying that's a problem? I'm not really understanding. For the latest, they keep pushing out the date. So are you saying that that's because of you, or you just aggravated because they're doing that? Or what are you saying about that? So April, share your win. Share it. You can sanitize, I've been wanting to work with April for a long time. We've been wanting to work with each other for a while. So share your win and any other wins that we have. So again, plant contract for me, debris removal contract for me. And we have so many that are pending and so many that we're working on. And I know this was like a last minute me jumping online because I was gonna do a bunch of videos, and I just said, no, I'm just gonna go ahead and go live and answer y'all's questions. But I don't know if everybody's getting the notification, or they could be in traffic or whatever. There's quite a few of you guys here, and thank you for those who are staying on. But I want to make sure I'm delivering the value that y'all need. So what type of videos? Because I've done a lot, and then sometimes it's kind of hard to decipher, like, okay, they've already heard about this a million times. So what are the type of videos that you guys feel are still necessary, or you need to know it needs to be an update or something new? Okay, yes, April, woohoo, yep, won a professional development for a high school in Arizona. Look, lady, April just won a contract in Arizona. I mean, and that's not to be shady or rude or disrespectful. It's like people are winning. People are winning contracts. Don't let the interwebs fool you. Okay, April works full time, got kids in sports, married, all that stuff, and she's still out here bidding on contracts and winning. Okay, I remember when I was a full-time employee and was bidding on contracts, it was not easy. And my kids, and she's okay. So, yep, she won a contract in Arizona, but she lives in New York, so she's doing an out-of-state contract. Don't play with her, okay? So, wait, like upstate New York too, I think, if I remember correctly. April's up in upstate New York, where it's super cold, right? So don't let the interwebs fool you thinking that no one's winning. People are winning, okay? It's like the people that win, they're not always so quick to share. So you got to think about the I'm trying not to get in trouble over here, because y'all be taking my words and sending them to people. Y'all messy out here. Look, it's cool, because I'm always going to back up what I say, okay? Because I mean what I say. But there are people that win contracts all the time and share it with no one. They're not on social media. They're not online at all. I just kind of had this weird segue where I was kind of sharing my stuff. But sometimes when you're in the trenches and you are, in the grind of your business, you don't really have time to share, and share with who, if you don't already have a following and all that kind of stuff. So you just want to make sure that whoever you're following is actually doing what they say that they do. Okay. And there's a lot of, and I be feeling so blessed because there's a lot of people that walk up to me in person and they're like, oh my God, I want a contract watching. And look, again, I don't care if you watch me and everybody else. That's fine. That's totally fine. Just make sure you watch me as well. Okay. Hit like on my video. But as long as you win contracts, I'm proud of you and I'm happy for you, no matter who taught you the best or whatever the case may be. Right. So, it's really all about making sure that people are still going out here and bidding and winning and building their business. It's very, very, that's the most important thing to me. So you ain't got to share it online. You ain't got to share it with me if you don't want to. I would love for you to, so I can highlight you, and let people know you out here doing your thing and you weren't afraid and you executed on a contract too. Cause it's like winning a contract is amazing, spectacular. Execution is the next thing. Okay. That's putting your shoes on. You got your clothes on, won the contract, putting your shoes on. That's execution. Okay. Linda says she ready. April says, yep, I can see Canada in my backyard. That's super upstate New York. Super, 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 super. Okay. So April said, I also want a tribal local contract for radon remediation services here on my reservation. We don't have a local business, so I have someone come on territory to do the work, support them and guide them. Look at that. Look at that. I love these wins. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's what you do. Look, I remember when April first used to jump on the lives and ask some questions here and there. She's a research queen. I do love that. Her and her business partner, they definitely research queens. And that is, but a lot of times people get the analysis paralysis and they research and they never execute. But they research and they execute. And that is key in this. Make sure you know what you're doing, right? But also do it, execute, figure it out. You're a business owner now, okay? That's what makes the difference. And April, you're one of the few people that I give permission, if you will, that I endorse to do different things. I mean, April's Native American, so that's a whole other sector of government contracting that I have been learning along with her. And it's amazing. Okay. It's a whole different thing. And that's a whole video in itself. I ain't gonna go there. But maybe I can get April on the channel at one point, at one point in the future when she's ready. But it's really about finding the people and then having the fortitude to execute. Point blank, period. Right. I'm not a person to mince words or belabor a point, but I just want to make sure I make that point. So make sure you guys hit like on this video. Okay. Oh, we had that. Didn't submit until I researched my 70th bid. Why did we wait? Just submit. This is key. This is gold. What April just said is gold. Golden. 70th. How many? I mean, my brain will be hurting after a while. I'm like, let me go ahead and submit this thing. I don't even have that type of fortitude to read that many and not submit. But I'm assuming, she said analysis paralysis. I'm assuming some of this was a little bit of fear too, which we all have, right? We all have the fear. And one of my students, Lord Jesus, my brain is shut off right now. One of my students, she says, do it scared. Okay. Do it, Shanita, do it scared. And that's what you got to do. I'm not afraid. I'm afraid a lot of times when I do site visits and all that kind of stuff. I'm not above anyone else. I just, maybe I have a little less fear and I'm just like, whatever happens, happens. And it has bit me in the behind a few times, but you just live to fight another day. This is one of the industries that you can get into where it's pretty much free unless you pay someone for a course, unless you pay for something. It's pretty much free. It just costs your time. There's not a whole lot of business industries you can get into where you invest no dollars and get a lot of dollars back. Almost none. Okay. Yes. So April said, and that's when I started keeping track. So you probably did more than 70, is what you're saying? Maybe, perhaps. That's a lot. So, okay, it's been 35 minutes. I've just been chilling with y'all. I appreciate it. So anybody else have any remaining questions, wins? I hope everybody heard my wins that I shared, because I literally manifested this plant contract, literally, and the debris removal, because that's a whole other thing. I don't even think I got into how that kind of came into play. I might do a whole video about it, but we won the contract, didn't execute on it. No one called us for emergency debris removal. So we just kind of like, since it's a little further away in Georgia, we just let it go. And then my old supervisor that I used to work with, I reached out to him randomly. It wasn't even, I was reaching out like, hey, what do you do now? Because I'm reaching out to everybody I used to work with in the federal government and see if they're doing anything in the government or anything corporate. And surprisingly, a lot of them were. A couple of guys work for banks, like they're the business developer and at banks. I'm like, hey, who's cleaning your banks? Who's doing this? Who's doing the landscape? I'm asking everybody. So it just so happened that that particular person is connected to the contract. It had nothing to do with him. I already had the contract, but it was very, very helpful to kind of have like a connection. And the thing about Atlanta, for sure, Atlanta is big, small. Okay. Georgia, similarly. And then there's other places like that where you're going to know a lot of people in the area, and that will help. No matter what people say, yes, you can bid on a contract and win. That's what we've built our business on. There's no qualms about that. But relationships definitely push you forward a lot faster and a lot easier if you can do it that way. Still do what you need to do. Bid on a contract ethically, without blah, blah, blah. But best believe if you have a relationship with someone, they'll find a way to give you that contract. And also, in addition to that, recently there's been a contract that, wait a minute, we got some money coming in the building. Okay. Shout out to Asher. Okay, I got to tell y'all a story about Asher after I finish this statement. Thank you so much, Asher. I really, really appreciate the super chat. I really appreciate that. I ain't had one of those in a while. It's been a minute since I've been on live. But one of the things you guys got to remember, right, when you're submitting a proposal, there may be a lot of people going after that proposal or going after that contract. So sometimes if there's a lot of people going after this contract, then if you have any mistakes on your proposal or pricing or whatever, they may not entertain you fixing it. However, if they really like your proposal, really like your pricing, or a combination of the two, they will let you know that you forgot this or this is wrong, and they'll just want you to resubmit it or fix it, and then you'll still be in the running for the contract. So if you feel like at one point, now the only thing that I've never seen them bend on the submission time or date, because I think that's traceable. So they don't want to get in trouble themselves saying, hey, I submitted my stuff on time and this person didn't. I'm doing a protest or whatever, right? Protest on the local level is way harder and more confusing than it is on the federal side. So for nothing else, you ain't really got to worry about no protest on the local side for the most part. But I've actually forgotten like the signature page. I've messed up pricing. I've done some jacked up stuff with contracts, and there's been a couple of times where I got completely like denied, but there's been a couple of times where they just wanted me to resubmit or fix my pricing or fix whatever. It was actually incorrect pricing. If y'all using AI, make sure you check the math. This wasn't AI that I made a mistake, but I'm just throwing that in as a point to make sure that you check the math, because the AI can't count for whatever reason. I don't know what the heck is going on, but it cannot count. So just make sure that you are checking your work before you submit. And that's why you don't want to submit in duress, because you make mistakes when you're rushing, but there's like the contract of your dreams. So you end up rushing. But anyway, met Asher 150 years ago. Okay. I don't even know if we've ever met in person, but we talked about real estate when I used to do real estate I swear this had to be over 10 years ago, because I've been doing my business for about 10 years or so, 9-10 years. So this was pre pre-Foresight Industries. So, and then Asher went on to do great things. And we just recently reconnected on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a gold mine. I tell you that all the time. Bridget has told y'all that time and time again, that LinkedIn is a gold mine. And I actually I have several other stories about LinkedIn that have been fruitful for me. So, but Asher, thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate it. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, we got to grab lunch. See, Atlanta, where Atlanta is spit out, yo. Atlanta's a great place. But any last minute thoughts, last minute questions, anything before I get up out of here? Because I wasn't even supposed to go live. I was supposed to do something else, but that didn't work out. So if not, hit like, please. Please, 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 because I told you there's something going on with my algorithm. It's a little funny acting. So I want to make sure that the information is being delivered to you all through the interwebs, and then I can continue to do this because it's not easy getting up here. It's not easy getting up here doing these videos, especially getting them edited and all these other things. So, I do this out of the joy and the love of my heart, So April said, thoughts, just submit and learn. The best teacher is execution on that contract. Anything that you were confused about, you will learn very quickly, or maybe not super quick, but you'll learn in the course of that contract where you made your errors, and then on to the next one, right? Whether it's the submission you did wrong, you're like, oh, next time I'll make sure I include this, or I'll make sure I check this, or next time I'll factor in supplies, and next time I'll ensure that I have the right managers in place. It's always a learning lesson. Everything is a learning lesson, and this is free. This is free. You can binge all the YouTube videos your heart desire and learn how to do government contracting. I was binging, and there was only 2 people, maybe 3. It was Eric Coffey, Felicia Streeter, and GovKid Method. I think there were only 3 people on the internet teaching about government contracting. And I was just studying just like you guys do. Okay. So you can do it. I didn't have no money. I didn't have no money to buy no course. I didn't have money to take no class. I didn't have no money for nothing. And I felt like I didn't have time. So I was trying to get it done as quick as possible. I didn't do like April. I submitted my first contract and I was like, oh, that's a win. Okay. Second one. Okay. That's a win. So I was ready to go before I even knew what I was doing for real. But I got favor because they ended up working out or not working out the best way that they were supposed to. So I have no regrets. I'm very, very grateful. So, okay. So Sean Johnson, congrats on you win. Thank you so much. Hashtag plants. And Linda, appreciate you. You are very welcome. So you all, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. So until next time, it is your favorite veteran. Bye.